Right, let's talk box office. This is, of course, our favourite Monday show, the Box Office Roundup. Hit subscribe if you want to stay up to date on all of this, because this is what we do every single Monday. And we will take a look at the box office, and it gives a good indication of what the industry's sitting like. You know, loads of people always complain, and mainstream media always complains, no one's going to the movies, blah, blah, blah. No, they are. They are. They're just being very discerning about what they go see. And this is pretty clearly evidenced by Insidious, The Red Door, smashing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Decrepity into nothingness. Yeah, number 2. Smashed it off the top spot. So, yeah, really good debut for Insidious, The Red Door. I reviewed it yesterday. I'll leave it linked above. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best horror movie of all time. I think it was interesting to see Patrick Wilson as a director. I think he did a pretty good job. And all in all, out of the movies that are on offer this weekend, or the previous weekend just gone, it's probably the most entertaining. So I think it deserved to smash the Dial of Decrepity into oblivion. So like I said, in terms of what we like to do here on this box office roundup, part of it is also just discussing the future of movies in general. We are going into a recession. The world is generally, inflation is too high, blah, 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 blah. You hear it all the time. But what this generally leads to, industry-wise, are horror movies. We've seen it before, and I think we're going to start to see it again. And I think this is quite telling, genuinely. This movie Insidious had a budget of $16 million and opened to $64 million worldwide. Boom, done, it's made profit. In fact, it is now more profitable than Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Already. Isn't that funny? When you're looking at it like that, it's no wonder why we've had a wealth of horror movies across the years, because they can be made on a budget and people like them, and they do pretty all right. $16 million with a $64 million worldwide debut. That is a $32.65 million domestic opening. Pretty bloody good. Pretty good for Sony as well. Sony distributed this. It wasn't a Blumhouse Universal distribution. It was a Sony Blumhouse Stage 6 distribution, which is interesting. Now, that is the second best horror opening for Sony ever, which is after The Grudge, which debuted to $39.1 million. This is only domestic, but it is also the second best domestic debut for an Insidious movie after Chapter 2's $40.2 million opening. And now again, Chapter 2 wasn't distributed by Sony, so that's why there's a distinction there. Even more amazing, Insidious, being 13 years old, flew to number 1 and took that away from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which absolutely bombed this weekend with $26.5 million. Now, that's really, really, really bad. This had a budget of $325 to $350 million. It's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars now. Whereas Insidious, little film, is already in profit, which is pretty bloody telling. Pretty bloody telling. And this is why I think it's interesting to take a look at these box office reports, because again, it tells us where the industry may go, and I think we will see a significant ramp up of horror films, and I think that's a good thing. Personally, I love horror. So while Sony pre-pandemic had horror sleepers such as Don't Breathe and Escape Room, it hasn't massively pushed that post-COVID, like Paramount, Universal, and Warner Brothers, but that's just because they didn't really have any. So I don't think it's really fair to distinguish it between COVID and not. They just didn't have any. But Sony has now posted a US-Canada start with the PG-13 rated Red Door that outstrips the starts of several post-2020 horror picks. Some of them are rated, including Scream, Megan, Smile, and Evil Dead Rise. Now for Blumhouse, Red Door is its 16th title to open at number 1. So Blumhouse just kills it. And their model works. Make a budget, push it out, done. They make so much money. They make, in terms of profit, they make loads. So Sony Pictures Worldwide Acquisitions Group originally bought North American rights on the first Insidious, which was made for under $1 million. That was out at TIFF Midnight Madness back in 2010. Despite the financial commitment at the time, the studio didn't believe in the pick enough to handle theatrical in US and Canada, so they ended up making a distribution deal with Film District to release stateside. Film District handled the first two picks until that distributor was absorbed by Universal's Focus Features. Sony had foreign, except for UK and Spain, on Insidious 2 and 3, and on Insidious The Last Key, Sony got all foreign rights plus full ownership of the IP, with Universal handling the title. So The Last Key was huge by low budget standards at the box office, which, again, Sony, fucking your decisions are so hilarious. You didn't believe in the pick, so you just gave it away. Idiots. Absolute idiots. But never mind, they believe in it now. Sony realised that they got to get back in full on Insidious, so they got all global rights and co-financed a majority of the pick. $16 million reported production cost. Tiny. And James Wan, who directed the first two movies, pitched the idea for Red Door to Blumhouse back in 2018 to keep the franchise alive, with a further string involving the Lambert son Dalton, who starred in Insidious 1, 2 and 4. The idea was to bring the entire original cast back together, which I actually did get wrong in my review, because I was like, oh yeah, Simpkins is new to the franchise. Nope. Yep, that was just him. But here's the interesting thing. So Dial of Destiny, again, absolutely flopping now. Massively flopping. And, Tom Cruise is going to be the box office cyclone with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, which opens this weekend coming up. So Lucasfilm is now dead. It's gone. It's absolutely gone. There's nothing going to happen with this movie at all. Dial of Destiny is gone completely. Smashed from the top spot by a low-budget horror film. I mean, that's not good, is it? That's not good at all. Really not good. Really, really, really not good. So yeah, Indiana Jones, second place, 26.5 million, second weekend. Dear, oh dear. Dear, oh dear. Now, I think that's interesting for a few reasons. Like I say, I think that will push the likes of low-budget horror into the limelight more and more. And I just think it's interesting. It does go to show that people are not that interested in these sort of legacy movies when they destroy the property that they're trying to sort of bring back. It's not good. You still get the same nonsense from people reporting on Sound of Freedom. So Sound of Freedom, the film everyone is talking about, is going to be in third place this weekend. So running 6-day total of $38.9 million. Those are industry estimates. Angel Studios is calling the weekend at 18.2. 40 million for 6 days. Don't know where that came from. Extra Magic money. It's coming from like the right-wing crowdfunding. Aside from the right-wing groups funding ticket sales here, and Angel Studios energizing its faith-based followers, isn't it funny how they just lambast people? I mean, look, this is a serious problem. Child trafficking is a serious issue. It really is. Bizarre that they're still trying to claim that it's just all right-wingers. So you have to be right-wing to care about children now. All right then. Okay, sure. Anyway, Insidious obliterates, and it does, absolutely obliterates Indiana Jones. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Again, subscribe for more. Every single Monday and Sunday, generally, we will take a look at the box office. But cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.